Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with another time-lapse video where I create a painting from start to finish. I want to warn you, today I'm doing a male nude. So if that's something that bothers you and you don't want to see it, exit this video now. Okay? You've been warned. Today I'm painting a nude of Omar, who is my newest model as of right now, April 2020. I met Omar here in Mexico, but he's originally from Morocco. And he posed for me in the patio area of my Puerto Vallarta apartment. This is the photograph I'm going to be using to work from today. I love these walls. My landlord wanted to repaint them a couple of months ago. I told him absolutely not. And here is the source photo with the tweaked version next to it. This is the version where I have applied several Photoshop filters to make the image easier to work from. I have other videos on my YouTube channel talking about how I do that if you're interested. I approached this painting differently than I usually do. Usually I at least draw a rough image out on the canvas with pencil before I start painting. But lately I've been loving the idea of just tacking up my source image next to a piece of blank canvas and starting to throw paint at it without any pre-drawing at all. The only preparation I did was to paint the canvas with a thin layer of burnt sienna. Then I let that dry and I dived in and started painting. The first thing I'm doing is painting the background, not the figure. This is my way of drawing without lines. I'm using big areas of light and dark to define the shape of the figure rather than using lines. Now that I've got the big shapes more or less in place, I'm starting to add color to the actual figure. Most of the figure is in shadow here, so these values need to be darker than the background, which is in the light. At this point, I've just realized that the head needs to be moved a little to the right. Not much, just a bit. So I'm removing a little on the left and adding a little on the right. It's kind of paradoxical, but really the reason I can create a painting in this way without any drawing first is because of all the years I've spent drawing. Drawing has taught me to see the big shapes and how they fit together, to see the actual angles of the edges of the different shapes, to see the proportions. How big is that shape compared to that shape? These are things that drawing forces you to deal with and get better at. And that has given me the skills I'm using right now to do what you're watching. I'm refining the shape of the head and starting to refine the features of the face here. No drawing involved, just making sure the shapes of the light and dark areas are correct, the angles are right, and the values are right. That last part is important. It means that if there's a little area in the shadow of the face that's a little too dark or a little too light, it's not going to look right. So you really have to check where it's dark and where it's light. The colors can be off, but the values can't. One of the things I want you to notice as you watch this is how much of the time I spend correcting things. I don't expect to get everything right the first time. Far from it. As I paint, I keep checking my painting against the source image and moving edges up or down, left or right, making shapes bigger or smaller, constantly refining and going for more accuracy. By the way, I'm squinting a lot while I paint. By squinting, I mean narrowing your eyes until everything gets blurry. That allows you to see the image without details, and that is a good way of checking how the painting is working. It also makes it a lot easier to compare your painting with your source image. Are they really matching up so far? Squinting works even better when you also step back and get some distance from the painting when you do it. Okay, we're moving into the final stages of the body here since it's about as detailed as I wanted. Just correcting some major glitches I didn't get to until now, like the arm. Now that I'm pretty happy with the body, I'm going to tackle the background. Because it's all about big shapes and just squinting a lot and trying stuff until it kind of looks right, I'm referring to the source image a lot, but I'm also not feeling the need to stay too accurate, just as long as it looks and feels like my patio wall. And there's the final painting. I call it Omar on my patio. Okay, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, maybe learned something. If you did like it, please subscribe. And now, go paint!